Dear students, welcome to today's class. So here we are going to continue our discussion on the chapter on training and developing employees, which is chapter 8 from your book. So in the last class we discussed about a lot of training methods, right? So here we are going to continue our discussion on different types of training method again. However, this video is going to be comparatively shorter. So without further delay, let's move on to the remaining types of training methods. Now, the first training method that we are going to discuss is simulations. Now, just as before, by hearing the name, I guess many of you have already guessed what happens in this training method, right? So let's take a look at the formal definition. And after that, I'm going to give you an example which will make the concept crystal clear to you. So what is the formal definition? Here it goes. Simulation training is the creation of a true-to-life learning environment that mirrors real-life work and scenarios. So here, you will not be given any real-life equipment to work. Rather, you will be given a simulated equipment or a simulated environment which looks like a carbon copy of the real-life environment. Again, you will be given a simulated equipment or environment which looks like a carbon copy of the real-life environment. So maybe you will be working with a prototype equipment here, not a real life one. Let me give you an example, and then the concept will be clear for you to understand. Now let's say you want to be a professional racer once again. Now you need training for that. Now if I wanted to train you using simulation method, I would be doing something like this. I'm sure many of you can relate to this photo. I mean, when you were kids, many of you knew of this game, right? Forget about the time when you were kids. I mean, if you are given a chance, even now, many of you would be willing to play this game or watch someone else play this game. So what happens here? You go to a video game store and then you sit here and then start driving. And it seems like you are driving on an actual road. Why? As you can see on the screens, it seems like you are driving on an actual road here. The environment seems very real. So again, even if you are not given a real life equipment to drive, here the driving experience seems like you are driving on an actual road. I mean, for this game, you have to drive like an actual driver or a racer. So in this whole process, you are driving in a simulated environment which looks like a carbon copy of the real life road. And that is why it is called a simulation method. Let me give you another example here. And this example is actually used in real life training methods. So here it goes. So here a pilot is being trained using simulations where a flight simulator simulates a cockpit to train a pilot how to fly a real plane. So as you can see in this photo, a pilot is being trained using simulation method. So it simulates a real life scenario and then the pilot is trained on how to fly a plane. So I guess by now you understand what do I mean by simulation method, right? Now let's move on to the next training method. What is the next one? Here it goes. Computer-based training. And it is as simple as that. As the name suggests, it is basically training using a computer medium. So if I train someone using mostly a computer medium, it is going to be called a computer-based training method. Let me take you through the details here. So what happens in a computer-based training? Let's take a look. Interactive media training integrates the use of text, video, graphics, photos, animation, and sound to create a complex training environment with which the trainees interact. So using computer, you can create an interactive multimedia training. So it is more interactive. Why? Because in the computer method, you can use video, audio, graphics, text, and presentation. And combining all of these creates an interactive environment. Let me give you a more relevant and concrete example. Say I'm going to train a doctor or a physician using computer-based training method. As you can see in this photo, a doctor is being trained using a laptop or a computer-based training. So in training a physician, for instance, such a system lets a medical student take a hypothetical patient's medical history, conduct an examination, and analyze lab tests. So maybe on the computer screen, the trainee can see all of the patient's medical history and lab test results. So the doctor can read all of those reports. Now, after that, the student can then interpret the sounds and draw conclusions for a diagnosis. Now, listen to me very carefully. Maybe the student has gone through all of the reports, and after that, maybe there was an audio visual where the student can listen to the patient's heartbeat and pulse rate. And after listening to the heartbeat and pulse rate of the patient, the student could discover what the problem was with that specific patient. Again, in this computer-based training method, first, the doctor went through all the patient's medical history and lab test results. And after that, the doctor went through a video where she could listen to the patient's heartbeat and pulse rate. And combining the report and the heartbeat and pulse rate, the doctor tried to identify the problem that the patient was facing. So the doctor finally drew some conclusions based on her diagnosis. That is how a computer-based training can be used in training a doctor or a physician. Now let's take a further look in one of the very special cases of computer-based training. And trust me, all of you know of this method. I mean, every single one of you are using that method right now at this very moment. Can you make a guess what the name of the next training method is going to be? Yes, it is learning portals. Many organizations and universities are using this method. So what happens here? Here it goes. The internet-based LMS or learning management system includes a course catalog, supervisor-approved self-enrollment, and pre- and post-course tests. So, as I said just now, all of you are using it right now. And what is that? Your BUX platform. I mean, every one of you is listening to this video by logging into your BUX platform, right? So you are using this method right now. So what happens in an LMS? You enroll yourself, and then all the course materials are uploaded to the system, and then you go through the videos at your own pace and give the exams and finally pass the exam. So that is how an internet-based LMS works. And trust me, many organizations are using this system for a very long time. Just to give you an example here, General Motors uses an LMS to help its dealers in Africa and the Middle East deliver training. So as you can see here, using this LMS system and distant learning method, we can train someone who lives in a very different continent than ours. All of it is possible because of the internet-based LMS system. Now let me give you a more relatable example so that you can understand even better. Let's say after you graduate, all of you are going to join reputed organizations, right? Now let's assume some one of you joined a bank as a management trainee. Now in the banking industry, there are a lot of banking rules and regulations. So after you join as a new management trainee, you have to go through all of those rules and regulations. So you need to learn all of them. And that is why after joining the bank management will ask you to enroll in one of these internet-based courses. They will ask you that yes, you are a new employee, and that's why you need to enroll yourself in one of these banking courses and learn all of the rules and regulations within the next 2 months or 3 months. Now here, maybe the internet-based course was designed by the organization itself, and at the same time, maybe the organization has a learning management system of their own. So the whole course is available in their own learning management system. So now, once you join the organization as an employee, what you have to do is you have to enroll in that course, go through all the materials available there, and finish the course within the given deadline. And that is how a learning management system or a learning portal works. Alright, congratulations, we have completed all the training methods available in this video. So in the next video, we are going to start our discussion on management development programs. See you very soon in the next video.